Welcome back to another CSI Gaming video. It's been a little bit since I've gotten to talk to you guys here, so I'd like to welcome you to our introduction to the Pokemon TCG game. First, we're going to start with a little bit of a short update. If you'd like to, you can follow us at CSI Gaming Shop. Here is all of our links to our current affiliated pages. We are also currently selling on tcgplayer.com under the name CSI Gaming. If there's anything that you're interested in our opening videos, we usually make them available there at the moment. Alright, now to get into our video. The first episode of our introduction to the Pokemon TCG, we're going to start out with a brief introduction to how the deck is created, as well as a short history of the Pokemon trading card game in general. So we'll start out with our short history lesson here. Some of you may find this information interesting, some of you may just not even care about it, but here we go. The Pokemon trading card game was started in Japan in March of 1997. The game initially started with the introduction of the base set of 102 Pokemon cards based on the animated series of Pokemon. The game was originally created by none other than Wizards of the Coast, the company we all know and love for Magic the Gathering, and shortly thereafter, a few years, was taken over by the Pokemon Company in general. Currently in the United States, we have 89 sets of Pokemon as far as base booster box sets, and the Japanese side, they have 80 boxes currently. We are approaching the 25-year anniversary of the Pokemon trading card game. As stated previously, it started in March 1997 in Japan. However, for us here in the TCG, our journey started in January of 1999. To be more specifically, January 9th of 1999, with the introduction of the Pokemon base set. A simple 102 card set that you were able to collect and play with your friends. I mean, let's be honest, with us back in the early 90s, or late 90s, who wasn't collecting Pokemon cards in school instead of actually paying attention. Shortly thereafter, the same year, in 1999, they had the release of the Jungle set, a 64-card subset that released on June 16th. Shortly there followed by the introduction of the Fossil set, a 62-card subset released October 10th of the same year. The Wizards of the Coast was responsible for the production and distribution of all Pokemon products up until the release of their 15th product, known as Pokemon Skyridge, which was their final production in the about mid-May of 2003. After that, the Pokemon Company took over the production of the game and have been running the game ever since. We have a testing deck here. It's a little bit on the older side, but we're going to go ahead and use that for our introduction purposes to the game. Each deck is comprised of 60 cards, no more, no less. Each deck is comprised of Pokemon, Trainer, and Energy cards. You can have as many energy cards as you like in your deck. You can have up to 4 of each specific Pokemon or trainer card in your deck. Like Magic the Gathering, unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, we go off of play sets of 4. With that being said, there are different types of trainer cards. Let's see what we have available in our deck here at the moment. There are item cards, supporter cards. Let me grab an example or two here for you guys. There we go. I don't believe there is a stadium card in this deck, but we will go ahead and double check that here. So, yeah. Okay, so we have item cards, which are cards that can either be attached to a specific Pokemon or used on the field to boost the stats of other Pokemon. Choice Band, for example, the attack of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active GX or active EX Pokemon before applying weaknesses and resistances. A support card is a card that is played during your turn and then sent to the graveyard. And each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck, and then each player draws a card for each of the remaining prize cards. And Ultra Ball, another item card. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you discard 2 cards, you cannot play. Let me see. If you cannot discard 2 cards, you cannot play this card. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle it into your deck afterwards. We'll go over our different types of Pokemon here. There are several stages and several different types of Pokemon. The most common being what is known as a basic Pokemon. Hey there, Jewel. So the basic Pokemon can be played straight to your field or your bench. The way that your field layout is, at the beginning of the game, you shuffle your deck, and then you immediately take the top 6 cards and are put onto the left side of your field. Give me 1 second to adjust the camera. So these cards are placed on the left side of your field as a prize card. In order to win the game, you must claim all of your prize cards. The easiest way to do so is by knocking out your opponent's active Pokemon. Once your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out, then you can claim your prize card. In the beginning of the game, after you shuffle and after your prize cards are set off to the side there, you get an opening hand of 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Over on this side of the field, you have your deck and your graveyard or your discard pile. In the middle of the field, we have a spot for 1 active Pokemon, and this lower spot here is what is considered our bench. You can have up to 5 Pokemon on your bench. So let's check out our opening hand and see what options it gave us. So in the beginning of the game, the one thing that you and your opponent must do is take 1 basic Pokemon from your hand and put it into your active Pokemon slot. So we would take our Grubbin, put it into our active Pokemon slot. Now that it is still our turn, or we're going to assume that we're going first, we want to play our Mew onto our bench. As energy cards are acquired throughout the game, like I had said earlier, you can have any number in your deck that you choose from. You attach them to your Pokemon in order to activate abilities or to pay cost. Unlike Magic the Gathering, your energy, or in their case, their mana, is not spread throughout your entire field. It must remain actively equipped to one Pokemon at a time. You can only play one energy per turn, and as well as doing so, if your active Pokemon is knocked out with energy attached to them, all of that energy goes to your discard pile. Now that we've gone over that, we've played our Pokemon, we've played our energy for the turn. It looks like we have quite a few options of trainer cards available to us. So, we have a Choice Band available. The attacks for the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active GX or active EX Pokemon. It does not cost anything to attach this to your Pokemon, and in doing so, gives them an attack boost. So, you want to attach that to our Pokemon, and then go from there. We also have a Professor Sycamore, which allows us to discard our entire hand and draw 7 cards. You can play as many item cards as you want per turn. However, you can only play one supporter card each turn. So, each of these being a supporter card, we can only choose to activate one of them this turn. Skyla allows us to search our deck for a trainer card and put it into our hand. So for right now, we're going to go with Professor Sycamore. We'll discard our current hand of 3 and draw a new hand of 7 cards. So, like Magic the Gathering, if you don't have any energy, there's not really a whole lot you can do. Thankfully, we drew some additional in our hand here. So we have our Field Blower, Rare Candy, Tapu Balu GX, some energies, another Sycamore, and a Recycler. This is good late game. If you have a Pokemon that's knocked out, you can shuffle 5 of your basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck. Now that we've gone over how to set up a basic field, we'll go over the Pokemon card in specific. There are a lot of things going on here at first look. So, we know that this is a basic Pokemon, so we can play it straight from our hand to our bench or our active Pokemon spot. Tapu Balu GX, being a GX Pokemon, we are only allowed to play 1 GX Pokemon per game. And then it is a Leaf attributed Pokemon with 180 health points. We have our attacks down in the middle of the card. So this is what our energy is required for. So with 1 basic Leaf energy, we're able to do Horn Attack for 30 damage. And then for 2 Leaf energy and 1 colorless energy, we can activate Nature's Judgment for 120 plus. You may discard all the energy from this Pokemon, and if you do, this attack does 60 more damage. So that allows us to push for 180 damage in 1 turn. And then he has his GX attack, Tapu Wilderness, for 150 damage. It heals all damage from this Pokemon. You cannot use more than 1 GX attack in a game. So, on the bottom here, we have our weakness, our resistance, and our retreat cost. Seeing as this one has no weakness or resistance, I will show you all that on an additional card. So our retreat cost for this Pokemon is 3. So let's get our grubbin out of the way. And let's say that we're in mid-game. And our Tapu Balu is our active Pokemon. And we have 3 energy. One strategy to avoid your Pokemon getting knocked out is to shift it to your bench. In order to do so, you must pay the retreat cost. We know for Tapu Balu, our retreat cost is 3 energy. So we would take our 3 energy, send them to the discard pile, then we're able to move Tapu Balu into our bench and shift him out with our Mew card. There are other things that we're going to go over in future episodes, such as status ailments and how those are treated and how those are removed. Again, we're just getting into the basics with this being episode 1. So, back to our card here. So we have our retreat cost of 3. And then on the bottom of the card, it states our Pokemon GX rule. When your Pokemon GX is knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. So it's a decent card in terms of attack and HP, but we run the risk of, if it's taken out by our opponent, they get to take 2 of their prize cards instead of 1. Now, that being said, let me search through our deck here, and we'll find another Pokemon that we can go over the weakness and the resistance for. Alright. Here we go. So Vikavolt is a great example. Like our Tapu Balu, or unlike our Tapu Balu, this is a stage 2 Pokemon. So what that means is it cannot be played directly from our deck to our active Pokemon slot. Let me find the requirements in the deck here. Where is it hiding? It looks like it is actually in our prize cards. So, unlike your general basic Pokemon, where is Vikavolt hiding? Vikavolt is a stage 2 Pokemon. So that being said, he evolves from a Charjabug. So in order to evolve our Vikavolt, we would have to have a Charjabug on our bench. We would then put our Vikavolt on top of him. Let me check our prize cards here, see, that way we can just get our example going. Nope. Looks like this guy was just running one in the deck for no reason. So you would put your Vikavolt on top of that, therefore allowing you to evolve the Pokemon. You can only evolve each Pokemon once per turn. Therefore, for instance, if this was a Charmander, a Charmeleon, and a Charizard, if it was my first turn, I would be able to play Charmander. On my next turn, I would then be able to evolve it into a Charmeleon, and then the following turn, evolve it into a Charizard. So that really kind of covers the basics of our introduction to the Pokemon trading card game. Again, just as a recap, your deck must consist of 60 cards, no more, no less. In those 60 cards, you must have at least one basic Pokemon. You can have any number of energy cards and any number of Pokemon or trainer cards with different names. However, you are restricted to only having 4 copies of each trainer or Pokemon. Although you may be able to have 20 to 30 Leaf Energy in your deck. For instance, we can only have 4 Vikavolt. So, that being said, once we'll get back into the rulings here. So, at the start of the game, you'll have your 6 prize cards on your left side of the field. Once all of those prize cards are claimed by knocking out your opponent's Pokemon, you then claim victory in the match. On the right side of the field, we have our deck zone, our discard zone, and in the middle of the field, we have our active Pokemon and our bench. You may only have 5 Pokemon on the bench at a time, and 1 active Pokemon at a time. So, that being said, we will get into more information in our next segment of the introduction to the Pokemon trading card game. This one was just kind of dipping our toe in the water, getting into a little bit of the history of Pokemon, as well as the basics of deck construction and the play mat layout. Now, with us coming up to the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, and one thing that I've noticed kind of trending on other Facebook and YouTube channels is independent challenges. So, as I stated in our post earlier, we've taken in quite a lot of older Pokemon bulk in the last week. So my personal challenge for us as a shop, since we're coming up on the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, is to put together the original 3 sets from the game. So, that being the base set, the jungle set, and the fossil set. I have started putting together our first set, being base set, and we're going to set the restriction on this challenge to May of next year. I know it's kind of giving us quite a bit of time, but with it being the 25th anniversary of Pokemon next year, I think we can realistically try to get this completed about midway through the year there. So starting out with our base set intake, we are missing quite a bit of the expensive cards here at the beginning of the set. And then we pick up at card number 17 with Beedrill. That being said, we have actually almost the rest of the complete set. So almost all of the rares and the uncommons and commons we were able to take in through bulk. Granted, there is still more bulk that we have to sort through, so I don't know that we have any of these cards not sitting around there. We are missing a de-evolution spray. And then this Clefairy doll is in a little bit of a beat up condition here, so that'll be replaced as we find another. But yeah, this is the in general of our challenge. With the base set, we are just attempting to put together an uncommon set of it. That being said, there are different versions. With the first printing being first edition, and then they have what is known as a shadowless version of the card, which, let me find our other Magikarp so we can compare. here we are. So after the first edition run of the cards, they came out with the Shadowless, being the one here on the right, and then the Unlimited print. The Unlimited print features the shadow along the picture border of the card, as well as having a little bit darker of a profile to it. The Shadowless run is a very rare version of the print run. So our current challenge, we're not going to worry about picking up these Shadowless cards. If we can find any, yay, that's a great addition to the set. But starting out with our base set, we will then move on to Jungle, which is a 64 card set, and then on to Fossil, which is a 62 card set. All of these cards we will more than likely not be buying the singles of. I think the premise of our challenge is going to be if we can collect the set through just means of trade in our local community. So again, for those of you just joining us, we've gone over the basics of the Pokemon trading card game in this video, as well as introducing a bit of a personal challenge for myself in the shop here. Noticing that it is kind of trending on Facebook and YouTube, the challenge that I have put forward for us, with next year being the 25th anniversary of the Pokemon trading card game, is to see if we can amass the first 3 sets just via trading, without having to resort to going out and buying single cards. So we are a good way through our base set. We're just missing the little bit of the more expensive cards, which we have access to through the gamers in our community, as well as picking up all of this older Wizards of the Coast bulk. This box here, or this Elite Trainer box, is all nothing but base set bulk. If any of you are interested in growing your own collection, we will have this available through the shop. If there's any specific cards you're looking for, you can message us and we'll be able to tell you if we can accommodate that or not. So thank you all for joining us. We're going to shoot for next week for our next installment of the Introduction to Pokemon series. And I would like to welcome you all again. For those of you that have not already, to join us on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and you can also get in contact with us via Instagram or Twitter. Again, we are currently set up and selling on tcgplayer.com through the name CSI Gaming. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. And as always, this is CSI Gaming. Have a good one.